You feel that? That fresh night air? The kind you only get up north. It's got that hint of pine and wild earth. Makes me feel grounded. Makes me feel home. Yeah, I know. You've heard me go on and on about Canada before. But tonight's different. Tonight, I want to tell you a story. Not just about the land, but about what makes this place us. What makes Canada, Canada. I think you'll like it. Besides, cuddling under the stars with my favorite human, that's the dream. Now, let's go back. Way back. Before I was even born. Before there even was a country. So, the land we now call Canada. It's been home. Home to people for thousands of years. Indigenous nations, like the Cree, Mi'kmaq, Métis, Inuit. They were here long before any borders, speaking their own languages, living in balance with the land. Then, in the late 14,000s, European explorers started sniffing around. Jacques Cartier, right? 1534, he sailed down the St. Lawrence River and claimed it for France. Like, I declare this as mine. Classic colonizer move. France and Britain both wanted this land. Cue years of fighting, trading fur, and yep, colonizing. And eventually, Britain won out in the 1760s after the 7 Years' War. That's when things really started shifting. By the late 1800s, the British colonies here, Upper Canada, Lower Canada, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, they were kind of like awkward siblings. Close, but always bickering. They all had their own governments, but Britain still called the big shots. Then, in 1864, some folks had a bright idea. What if we joined together? That's the moment things got real. 3 major meetings, Charlottetown, Quebec, and London, led to a plan, Confederation. On July 1st, 1867, it happened. Boom. The Dominion of Canada was born. 4 provinces, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. The rest came along later. It wasn't perfect. A lot of voices, especially indigenous ones, were ignored. But it was a start. And from there, Canada began to stretch its paws. More provinces joined in. Manitoba in 1870, British Columbia in 1871, Prince Edward Island in 1873, Alberta and Saskatchewan showed up in 1905. Newfoundland held out till 1949. Bit of a lone wolf, huh? But it wasn't all cozy campfires and maple syrup. There were fights, literal ones, like the Métis uprising led by Louis Riel, pushing back against injustice. There were deep wounds, residential schools, broken treaties, racism, and exclusion. Still, the country kept evolving. In 1931, Canada gained more independence from Britain. In 1982, we got our own constitution and Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That's when Canada really said, "We've got this." Now, let's fast forward to the fall of 2009. My pack immigrated from Asia and settled here in the province of Saskatchewan. My great aunt has brought us here to become permanent residents through my father's side of the family. We lived here in the urban areas, which was hard to get used to since we have always lived in the forest. I had to adapt to the culture here and learn the language so I could communicate with humans like you. It was tough, but eventually it became easy, and I became fluent in the English language. I have seen so many different races of humans, and it made me feel welcome to see so many different appearances. There were common things that I noticed about humans of Saskatchewan. They're kind, respectful, enjoy the game of hockey, and they apologize a lot. I'm not sure if this is a stereotype with the people who live here, but I'm proud to be a part of this land. So, what is Canadian identity anyway? Some say it's hockey, or Tim Hortons, or being overly polite, but that's just the surface. Canada's identity is layered. It's about embracing diversity, welcoming others, saying, you belong here too. It's Indigenous teachings and resilience. It's French and English living side by side, mostly peacefully. It's strength in winter and softness in how we care. It's communities banding together after a storm. Or a moose blocks the road and someone says, sorry about that, eh? Being Canadian means holding space for many stories. It means accepting that the past is messy and working to do better, to heal, to reconcile, to listen. And you know what? That's kind of beautiful. I think that's why I love this place. Why I love you, too. Because like Canada, you're always growing. Always trying to do the right thing even when it's hard. That's real strength. Also, you handle the cold like a champ. That's a major bonus when your boyfriend likes late night runs under the full moon. So yeah, Canada isn't perfect, but it's home. It's heart. And as long as I've got you beside me, wrapped up in a blanket, under a sky full of stars, I'll always feel like the luckiest wolf alive. Thank you for listening, sweetheart. Sweet dreams. And remember, be proud of who you are. Because Canada is like a potluck. You choose what you like or want to try, and leave the rest for the others to enjoy. Us Canadians are a mix of different cultures and backgrounds, creating a piece of art together.